Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the DLLS Stars post-game show after a 3-1 Stars victory over the LA Kings alongside Sam Nessler, Craig Ludwig, and our producer Ryan Vaughters. I'm Owen Newkirk. Thanks so much for joining us tonight as we begin Stars After Dark before midnight. Now, before we get into that and everything that implies, let's talk about hoodies. The Finnish Mafia hoodie, brand new, released over the weekend, looks stunning. Of course, the t-shirt was a huge seller for us, still is available, but if you want this hoodie, do not hesitate. Get it now. It's available. It's not a pre-sale. You order it, it will ship right away because everyone keeps telling me this is a limited edition. We're not going to have multiple re-ups and stuff like that. So if you want it, don't stew on it. Get it now before they're gone. All right, guys, let's start tonight with stifle is my word of the night. The Stars absolutely stifled the LA Kings. They didn't give them much of anything except for that power play. Well, actually, Corey Perry was involved with both of their. They had 2 high danger scoring chances the entire night. That is a bit of an improvement. Now, I know LA is not the most dynamic offensive team, but based on what the Stars have been giving up lately, as far as number of goals, chances, shots, this was a little bit better. Yes, or just Kings?
Well, I don't know about stifled. I think the Stars had 9 shots through 2 periods or something like that. So I'm not sure that they were stifled too much. But we talked about it in the beginning that it's a game that it's going to be. It's the way that LA plays, and if they can go up against arguably one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league and end up being couple minutes away from winning a hockey game, you'll take that if you're offensively challenged. And they seem to be this year. And so I think it allows them to keep on hanging around games and gives an opportunity, maybe their top players to come up. And I'm talking about playoff time more than now. I mean, you hang around a playoff round and you never know if you can. Again, there's the odds are they're going to probably go against Edmonton again in the first round, and they're probably going to play the same game. They're not going to open up against those guys, and I think they're trying to figure out what's the best way for us to move forward a round or 2 in the playoffs. And they don't have Kopitar. I don't know if Kopitar makes that big of a difference at this time of the age of his career and everything, but I think he's good on face. He handles the puck, and he's another guy that can help put a puck or 2 in the net.
Sam, what were your initial takeaways from this one?
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't think after the first period, the Stars were all that good defensively, to be honest. They didn't give up a ton, but they got running around a little bit, especially that second period. I think shots were 10-2 when I looked up, and it was only 10 minutes through the second period. They started to get away from what worked in the first. I mean, they played a great road period in the first. It was ugly. It was slow, not a whole lot. They couldn't get interior. LA couldn't get interior. That's what you want in a road game, especially against one of the better defensive teams in the NHL. But in the second period, they kind of just got away from it a little bit. I don't think this is a game you really hang your hat on and say, we really improved. This is how we get out of this, kind of slump we're in here. But they went into a building. I was going to say tough building, but it looked like it was half empty. So maybe not. But they went in against a good team that's usually really good on home ice, that defends really well. And they didn't play their best game, and they ended up finding a way to win. So I think at some point you just have to say, Jake Ottinger got his groove back. He played really well tonight, kept them in it when they were swimming a little bit, but they found a way to win. So I'm not complaining too much about it.
Again, maybe I'm missing something here. And you're right. They did get outshot 13-6 in the second period, but I had scoring chances at 9-8 LA. LA's, some of their shots weren't exactly very dangerous, and the Stars missed the net on some chances that were of more high quality. In the end, yeah, I thought they had more possession in the first, but just didn't do anything with it, right? Other than the Wyatt Johnston goal. We'll talk about this. And through 40 minutes, they gave up one clear-cut grade A, and that was the one where Corey Perry put it wide through the crease on a rebound he kicked out. I didn't see a whole lot of punch offensively from the Kings. I know they had some push in the second period, but then when it mattered, they did get the power play goal. But I honestly didn't think the Stars looked all that, susceptible to giving up goals against. I didn't think Jake Ottinger was forced to do a whole lot tonight.
Hey, if you want to go down that road, they stifled each other.
Yeah,
If
sure.
somebody used the word
Yeah.
stifle,
Yeah.
they stifled. Maybe they neutralized each other.
You know, the one player that stood out to me tonight in a really positive way was Thomas Harley. I don't know if you noticed this, but Harley looked like he was skating tonight. He was moving his feet. He was getting forward with the puck in the offensive zone through the neutral zone. He stood out a little bit more to me than we've seen most of this season as far as, he loves to do the 10 and 2s. But he was working the feet. And when Thomas is moving his skates, I know that sounds like a very simple thing to observation, but when he is getting his feet moving, getting that speed, kind of winding it up, he's the best version of himself.
When part of the reason for that, especially in their offensive zone, is the system that they play. You have one guy on you. That's it. And Thomas Harley, the 10 and 2 is an evasive move. And so he can create space and time, but it's what LA does. And I think they may have showed something at some point. Oh, I think it was the 4-on-4 stuff. But the thing about playing man on man that Dallas didn't do, and I'm getting off a little bit of what you're talking about here, Owen, on the 4-on-4, is if you want to create space when you're playing man on man, you have to bring people that come are going the opposite direction that you're carrying the puck. But you don't go on the outside of your player. You go between their player and your player that has the puck. There was a lot tonight. Matt Duchene did it twice, I remember, where he did it the right way. That's what happened. That's how you create space where you get somebody to back off. You have to go between. If I'm carrying the puck and Sam is my partner and you're defending, Sam has to go between me and you. And that's what creates space. Not when he goes on the other side of him, because now that player can just stay right on him. So, but back to Thomas Harley, that's the game when he can you imagine what he does with 1-on-1 drills and 2-on-2 drills in practice with, he can do that. And so this is the kind of game I think system he thrives against.
Sam?
I just don't.
Sam's got nothing. Luds,
No,
he's got nothing. It's past his bedtime, and he wants to go curl up in that bed right behind him.
He's not feeling really giddy about Thomas Harley, right, Sam?
I'm not. I agree. He looks like he's skating better. He does look more noticeable when he has the puck. I still just see so many mistakes with the puck. He just doesn't seem to want to make that extra read that he was so good at. And again, this is just like Jake Ottinger. I'm holding Harley to the standard he should be held to, not saying he's this awful defenseman making 50 mistakes a game. He's such a good puck mover when he gets it. I remember one play on the wall. He gets it. He just kind of jams it up towards wherever he can, and it gets turned over. I like to see him skating better because that's the start, right? If he's skating better, he's going to be more confident. He'll start to make those plays. It's just frustrating that it's been this long. We're still talking about it.
Well, I don't think in a game like this, and Lud said that probably the best, that both the teams kind of stifled each other. You're not going to get a lot of times in games like this somebody who really pops a lot because there aren't that many. I mean, there were 8 shots on goal, 9 scoring chances combined in the first period, very little to talk to. We'll get into that whole breakdown and everything in our second segment, but there was a little bit more space in the third period just because teams were kind of going for it and they had to try to decide the game. Frankly, guys, I'm just glad that this one ended in regulation.
I think, here.
It didn't look like it was going.
I'll drink to that. No, I was going to say, I believe that when you hear Gully post-game, whenever that is, tomorrow, I guess it would be, he's going to be really good with this game. He's going to say that they're this kind of team.
I think so.
We were patient. We played this kind of a game. We kept them, a lot of the things that we're talking about, we didn't give them a lot. They didn't give us a lot. We waited for our chances. And, we took advantage of the opportunities that we had. And so, and again, when you're a team that's reeling, normally it's because you're not liking what's going on in your own zone. And so this is a good step to kind of start to build that and kind of get the guys to think that we're gonna play the game, or we're gonna work well from our end of the rink out. But I do think that Mikko Rantanen has been coming back into his own zone. I mean, it's amazing how a moose like that can go down offensively, make something happen, and then beat 1 or 2 of his own forwards back up the ice into his zone, to the tops of the circles at the other end of the rink. And that's contagious because after a while, whether it's Wyatt or Sam Steel, who played second most minutes of everybody on the ice tonight, forwards, number 2 right behind Robo. But everybody buys in. Like if Rantanen's coming back, well then Wyatt's going, shit, I got to catch him. I got to come back too. And then Robo's got to come back. So I think it's infectious.
When I look at the Minnesota Wild losing, you needed points. You got that. The Avalanche got a point, but they lost in overtime, which I don't know how you feel about that because it's to the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I guess because they're not in the same division or conference, you probably do it, but it's very hard to cheer for the Leafs at all or celebrate anything the Leafs do. You have to keep going, right? And Luds, when you talk about the way they played, they did that against the Capitals, right? They got back to focusing on defense and discipline, and it worked against the Caps. Again, the Caps haven't been playing really well of late. They're kind of hot or cold. But then they went to San Jose, and the young, energetic Sharks team kind of drew them out of that again. Well, they're going to play the Anaheim Ducks tomorrow, and we'll break this whole game down tonight, I promise. But how do they avoid getting caught in the way the Ducks want to play tomorrow? Because that's not necessarily what Gully wants them to do.
Because what he's trying to do is change their mindset a little bit. And every opponent is Colorado. Every opponent is Minnesota, and every opponent is, are the best teams. And you can't lower your game and you get up 4-2. And just because they're the San Jose Sharks and this and that, and they only got 1 or 2 quality players on that team, you can't change your game. And, you can't allow teams to crawl back into it. And so regardless of the opponent, I think he's trying to get back to where he felt the team may have been a month or so ago. And so here's our foundation. Our foundation is this. And when we get teams on the ropes, we got to keep them on the ropes.
Okay, I have another question for you then. What do you think? I was thinking about the lineup, guys coming back in, right? 2 of them were up front. Nathan Bastian came in, and then the more notable for me is Alexander Petrovic. What did you think of Petro tonight?
I didn't mind Petro. I thought I didn't even look at his minutes, but they kind of mixed. All of a sudden, Nils was playing up there, but I actually liked what I saw from Petro in the beginning because they were the 6-foot passes. He wasn't trying to beat people. He kind of got back to what we have been seeing from him that we really like about him. I mean, it's low event hockey, but it's I don't want to call it safe. It's effective and efficient. That's what Petro needs to be. And moving the puck, and then change they twist them up. Well, it doesn't matter, and they mix them around. But I mean, did Petro stand out tonight for you?
No, not at all.
Hadway.
And he played 17 minutes.
Honestly,
you go.
To me, the reason why I brought up Petro is because I didn't notice him at all. And I mean, once in a while, I think he got caught by a puck up high at one point. But think about it. Isn't that exactly what you wanted from him?
That's why you want a guy like that. This is the same thing with Babushkin and guys like that. You want them to go through the games. Yeah, they're going to play physical, but their defense is going to be appropriate. They're going to move the puck appropriately, and there you go. And you get your 16, 17 minutes a night. You're good. Don't notice you. That's perfect. That's a perfect night. You let Harley and Heiskanen and Essa and whether it's Nils or whoever wants to get a little more creative offensively. Because those guys got a little bit longer rope because they're the ones that kind of are the offensive guys. And that they're going to make mistakes every once in a while. And so you have to be able to play the right way. The other 4 guys have to know that. So sometimes you're not backing them up, but you're always aware that it's this guy and he's going to try this extra little play. And you get the same old from your bottom 3 or bottom 2, whatever you want to call them.
All right. So the Stars get just their second win in their last 9 games and second win of the 2026 calendar year. That's a good thing. But let's break this one down. Let's go through the game. Let's talk about the goals, the no goals, and everything in between next here on the DLLS Stars postgame show. This DLLS Stars postgame show is brought to you by Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. You hear in the news, beef prices are skyrocketing along with all sorts of other inflation. It's been a top story daily for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, did you know that Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market has over 700 items, including 500 at under $10 per pound? They have over 250 cuts of beef, poultry, seafood, pork, even the exotic stuff like ostrich, rabbit, and alligator, if that's your thing. I was amazed at the selection, knowledgeable, friendly butchers, and of course, their everyday low prices. But I tell you, I could truly imbibe my entire meal because they have incredible side dishes like mac and cheese and mashed potatoes and everyday low prices. But they also have dessert. We'll get to that later because they blast freeze everything to maintain freshness. It's true. Their brisket was out of this world. They have 9 area DFW locations where frozen is fresher. That's Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. Check them out at wildforkfoods.com. Stars post-game show is also brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day on Prize Picks. Being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement, whether it's this football season, this hockey season, NBA, you name it. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Now, one of the things I repeatedly say about Prize Picks is it's so easy to use. You just download the app, and all you have to do is pick more or less than at least 2 player stats. And if you get them right, you can cash in. It's also available in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. And I love that you can do stacks. What does that mean? Well, it's the only app that offers an opportunity to pick the same player up to 3 different times in the same lineup. So if you are a real big fan of Drake May and the New England Patriots, you can pick him for passing yards, rushing yards, and touchdowns. So what do? You download the Prize Picks app. Use the code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code DLLS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right. It's time to break this one down. First period, Stars and Kings, and we thank you for joining us late night because we have now passed over midnight here. It's now Tuesday, January 13th in the Central Time Zone. Out in LA, it's just past 10 o'clock, so they have a little bit of time. And the easy road trip, right? LA to Anaheim. They probably don't have to worry about changing hotels tonight, or maybe they will. Maybe they'll get on the bus and go to Anaheim after the game. I'm not sure. But they're not skating tomorrow. So, first period, Stars had 3 shots on goal, and their first one went in. And it was actually the best scoring chance of the entire period from either team.
For me, this kind of set the tone. I was just talking about Mikko, and Mikko's the guy that tracks all the way back to about the tops of the circles in their own D zone. He picks the puck off on who was it? Yeah. So Mikko comes back here, picks the puck off, and then he turns it up ice. And then it's that Norris trophy because he gets 100 point a year, Esa Lindell, that ultimately jumps up into the play. And what Esa did in that is once he gets across the offensive blue line, he just keeps on going. And he actually draws, I think it was Clark and Dumoulin. And he both of the defensemen, it was like a little meeting of the 3D man because he ultimately brings both of those guys to him, which opens up that lane from Steel to Wyatt coming right down the middle of the ice. And it gave Wyatt right there. You can kind of see where both defensemen, that's Kuemper. No, that's Kuemper over there, but I think it is. But the other defenseman, he ends up drawing both of them in there. And then Wyatt, I thought Kuemper was, I don't know if he was ready because he was inside the blue paint. He didn't get out on top of the circles, and Wyatt just took a great shot and kept it low on the ice. And there you can see it. Look at how, to me, for everything that happened on this, I just thought Kuemper was really deep in his net.
Yeah, and he didn't see it well. Going back to the entry, Wyatt's out on the right wing, and Esa's, sort of in the high slot, a little bit behind Steel. And I love the recognition as it was unfolding. Esa goes for the middle lane drive. Wyatt slowed and curled back behind and came in late to give Steel, instead of, 2 guys in the same passing lane, give him another option. And that completely opened it up. And even then, Rantanen was filling in over on the right side behind. That was smooth, quick, fluid. It's exactly what you want to see on those.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot how Tyler Seguin would play with, when he comes across the offensive line and he's got Matt, driving down the middle of the ice or pulling up and he finds that spot in the high slot.
So Wyatt Johnston now has 25 goals, 51 points, and that was a 5-on-5 goal, Sam, not just a power play. You know why? Because this is the first game in 25-26 that the Dallas Stars have not had at least one power play opportunity. 0 for 0.
It shows with the amount of goals they scored, right? And that's a West. It's we talk about it. That's a huge part of their offense. If they find a way to win games when they get one or more power play goals. So I'm sure LA was talking about that, just like Dallas was talking about it. Don't take penalties. Don't take penalties, and they didn't until very late.
So we go to the second period now, because that was it. The first period was very low event, hardly a lot of scoring chances, and there were very few shots. It was 5-3 LA, but even then, that didn't really tell the story. Go to the second, and Corey Perry, he came close right away. There was a long shot that wasn't really dangerous, but I don't know if it was a screen or just because Jake had to fight through it. It hit him, but he didn't control it real well. Perry kicks it from his left skate to the blade of his stick, but he's at such a severe angle as he plays it. It goes behind Jake right along the parallel plane of the goal line, but stays out through the crease. That was their best scoring chance of their first 40 minutes of hockey.
It was close. And I think, if I remember correctly, the puck luck evened itself out later with number 12 for Dallas. So it was a weird game in that sense where when there was a chance, it was scrambly, right? It was not a lot. There wasn't a lot getting to the interior, but then all of a sudden, scrambly play around Jake. He's got to move left to right. He had to make a couple sprawling kind of saves, even if they were from sharp angles. Same thing with Kuemper. Not a lot of clean shots other than that Wyatt first goal. When it did get there, it got scrambly, but it just didn't turn into a whole lot until the third period.
The conversation about the Kings, as we were having in the first segment, kind of pushing the play a bit more. They did. They had more shots. They had 18 total through two periods, so that means they had 13 to just 6 counted, although I had some issues with a couple. Of course, I always do. But again, places where Jake Ottinger should and did make the save. I thought Ottinger was very good tonight. He also didn't have to stand on his head a lot. There was one play that should have been a high danger as Luds. I love this stretch pass by Drew Doughty. Patient, and ripped it right up the middle of the ice. But Warren Foegele panicked. He was free, and he took the shot as soon as he opened up in the high slot. That's a very routine save for Jake Ottinger. He takes, and it's easy to say from, a TV or back, off the ice. He takes one or two more strides, and that becomes a lot harder save.
Yeah, I think sometimes you're rushing it because you don't know if somebody behind you is going to catch you. But you mentioned Drew Doughty. I watched him play a couple other games. I thought he's been really good this year. I probably the Olympic thing has got him going too. But I thought even tonight, going head to head with Mikko a couple different times, and not allowing him to gain space and things like that. I thought Doughty's been really good.
All right, what do you guys think of the? I won't call them coincidental penalties because they're not, but the embellishment and interference. Speaking of Doughty for interference at 10:52 of the second period, Mikko Rantanen for embellishment.
Go ahead, Sam.
I completely disagree with everyone online saying that was not embellishment. Mikko Rantanen has a reputation. I understand. But Mikko Rantanen has a reputation because he's really good at embellishing. He feels the contact coming. He reaches out. He either grabs on arm, he hooks his elbow, he grabs the stick, and then he goes down. Anytime, I think Sevy said it in the intermission, anytime a player is held up and their feet go up and out from underneath them, it's embellishment. You don't fall that way. That's just not how it works. So I wonder truly, just to see how it would happen if he didn't go down. I don't even think they call that on Doughty, to be totally honest with you, because I think it's one of those plays where they just kind of bump into each other. Doughty maybe rides him off a little and Rantanen gets around him eventually. You see it every time, 400 times a game. Just a little bit of rub plays that are technically interference, I know, but they're not called that way. This play to me was Mikko Rantanen grabbing on and turning himself into holding on Rantanen, if that's what you want. It's still, either way, it's a penalty on Mikko Rantanen. I think if he doesn't fall down, it's probably nothing. But the fact that play happened that way, the one thing I don't like is I don't like officials calling both just to call both, right? If Mikko Rantanen embellished that play, to be honest with you, it should be a embellishment penalty only and a power play for LA. I don't think that it can technically be interference and also embellishment, but I definitely don't think it was the wrong call calling embellishment.
I think, Sam, that the initial penalty was on Doughty. I think that's what the referee sees first. he sees him hooking him and kind of impeding his progress a little bit. And then everything that you said. Here's the one thing that when I immediately saw it and heard them that they called a penalty, I'm like, well, wait a second. Why would a player take some kind of a dive when the boards are 10 feet in front of you?
Yeah.
That becomes, but again, Mikko, no, you're 100% right. He knows exactly where he was. He held him up, and then all of a sudden his right foot goes forward. but I think he knew how he was going to go into the boards. I'm going to be able to go in, first, and I can kind of cushion myself when I get to the boards and roll off of it. But I believe that first penalty that was called on Doughty, because that would have been the one. I think he may have drawn a hooking if he just stays there and kind of battles it and slows up. But the dive is the one that they go, okay, dude, that's too much. I was going to give you a power play, but not anymore.
Yeah, maybe just try to fight through it, right? You get yourself a penalty by looking like you're trying to fight through it.
So, Sam, I know you're looking, but the chat does not agree with your take at all. In fact,
I already saw it on Twitter.
They already say that you're wrong and that you're a referee apologist. So that's always fun.
I'm known for that.
Luds, I'm going to bring back a soccer comparison to your favorite, but it's the same problem in both sports. It's if you are an honest player and you're getting impeded, you don't usually draw the call. Whether it's hockey, soccer, doesn't matter. You don't generally get rewarded for staying on your feet. And players in both sports have gotten really good about knowing just how to give the referee hey, he's hooking, holding, obstructing, interfering, you name it. And to me, it's a conundrum, but it's extremely frustrating because you want to reward players for playing an honest game. You want them to try to fight through those and keep going, but then that's on the referees to acknowledge and recognize that there is obstruction and to make the call. Yeah. And to Lud's, he'll turn and say every defenseman is expected to obstruct and slow down to help their partner out. I understand that that's expected. That's why it's on the referees to get that call right, and not because I think what happens is players like Rantanen get hooked and held and grabbed a lot, right? Not as much necessarily as when Luds was in the NHL, because just ask Mike Modano how much he was getting, grappling hooks attached to him as he was trying to whip up the ice. But if you give that call without the players having to go, I'm not apologizing or excusing Rantanen for trying to draw something, but I'm saying if you call those embellishments or not, those infringing fouls, right? The obstructions, the holdings, the hooking, etc. Well, the guy's he's not playing the puck, he's playing you. If you got a few more of those calls, maybe you don't see some players trying to draw that because they're getting frustrated. Like, hey, this guy's getting in my way every time. He's not trying to make a hockey play. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's we know that the referees and linesmen, they have tough jobs, but you know what, you got the same guys doing a lot of the games, doing the same teams and things like that, so they get to know tendencies just like players get to know tendencies of other players. They know which guys are embellishing or putting a little bit of a show on. They know the guys that fight through it. Like, I don't look at Corey Perry as a diver, so to speak. Corey Perry usually competes against you.
He's a master of the dark arts.
But see, he's
some high stakes.
He competes and he competes and he competes.
Sure.
And then he knows he's built up enough equity of competing that this is the right time to sell something. Because like I said, word gets around. These guys watch the games. They call the games all the time. And I think they've got a book on a lot of players, especially those players that are known for that.
Yeah. Yep. Here's the one thing that we have to face in reality in hockey. It's such a fast game. If you went back and watched the game and just really paid attention to every player on the ice, because think about it, most of these penalties that are, missed calls are away from the play. They're not on the puck. There's a million of them. You can't call everything in the game. So there might be an interference penalty called in the third period that it was the exact same thing that happened in the first period away from the puck, but you just don't see it, and you're just not gonna see it. That's the officials are not going to be able to do that.
See, Luds, there's Sam's sticking up for the referees again.
No, this is not me. I'm telling them they miss calls.
You should go get your striped jersey and put it on with the orange on the arms just to show your support.
If you want proof, go watch Rope Hands tackle Macklin Celebrini in Saturday's game away from the puck to keep him away from the zone. That happens all the time. You can't call all of it. So I think officials do the best they can. They're going to miss calls. Some of them are going to be more blatant than others, but it's too fast of a game to call everything out there. And that's why some of that just gets so frustrating, because sometimes it can feel really uneven.
I mean, you could go and you could look at Jamie Benn's penalty tonight and the one that Jamie had, right? There was nothing intentional. What happened was Jamie actually, as he was taking a stride, he ends up clicking the front of his skate with the player that ultimately fell down. And then Jamie started falling forwards, but never touched them. But it's, I mean, again, it's an accident again, skate hit skate. Was there a little bit of oops there on the LA part? Yeah, possibly. But I think that's one of those things where Jamie's chasing a player. He's trying to catch him. And now you're looking at that where you caught him from behind. And so, yeah, that's a little bit too far, I guess they think.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm old Greg says you need to be stripped of all titles and ranks effective immediately.
I don't have any.
There you go. All right, up next, let's talk about the third period. We've got some goals and a no goal to talk about. And then don't forget your super chats, because I've already seen one that is encouraging more because they want to keep Luds up later than he should be here on the DLS.
Yeah, wide awake. We're good to go.
Show.
This is Mike.
The DLLS Stars postgame show is brought to you by Marsmet. Now, generally, you've been hearing Luds talk about this, but because we're on StreamYard, it's my turn to do the ads, which means we'll make Luds do it later. But just like Luds, although not nearly as old, I too am not in my 20s and 30s anymore. In fact, I'm in the mid 40s, but we already knew that. And as you start to age, sometimes the same workouts, diet just doesn't feel quite the same, or maybe you don't sleep as well, and you just don't feel like you have that same drive and energy. Well, Marsmen is something that helps your body can unlock usable testosterone by making you feel better, but it's no injections, no needles, just real ingredients that help optimize energy, focus, and strength. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that the DLS Stars Show sent you. All right, now let's talk about Shopify. What kind of dreams did you have when you were a kid? Maybe you dreamt of going to Mars as being an astronaut or a doctor, or maybe a professional hockey player like our very own Craig Ludwig. What about now? Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to help support DLLS. Well, did you know that Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US? It even powers, Shopify does, the DLLS Stars merch store. Well, I say Stars. It's all of the DLLS merch, but especially our guys. Well, let's turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. All right, guys, I'm sure you love that break. You get a chance to reset. Sam gets to put something in his in the crook of his cheek there so we don't notice it, but that's okay. No, I'm kidding, Sam. All right. Third period now. Stars still leading 1-0. Oh, he's eating a Reese cup. Actually, that wasn't a Reese cup. That was a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it was a Christmas tree.
Quinton Byfield scores on the power play. Before we get to that, it's, as you heard Razor say on the broadcast, he hates it when they stack penalties. They killed the first one off beautifully. The first power play of the game was Jamie Benn for tripping at 5:02 of the third period. They didn't give him anything, right? Sammy Hellenius was tripped at the side of the net, draws a penalty on Nils Lundqvist, and here comes power play number 2. A little bit of luck and a great play by Corey Perry.
Where was the luck?
Well, there's the trip.
Oh,
big guy goes down.
That's a trip.
No. I think he's talking about the shot that kind of gets deflected and rolls into Perry.
Well,
right here.
That's mainly because of Essa. I mean, I think it was Clark who the defenseman was on the point. Essa steps outside, almost outside the circle.
What's he doing over there, Luds?
Huh?
What's he doing that far out?
Well, he's cheating. He was trying to take the pass away from Clark down to Byfield. Byfield was over there. They probably looked at each other, and Essa drifted over there, and he cheated. He took a couple strides right there. You can this is where he's chasing back. But Clark took the puck, and then he just fires it to the net. And then at the same time, Byfield's heading to the net, looking for a rebound. I don't think, and I know that Miro tried to block it and it got under his skate. It was a tough one to block, but regardless, Essa just cheated, and he was hoping that pass was going to come down directly to Byfield. And then Corey Perry makes a really nice little play. It's funny. You don't even think that he actually realized. I mean, again, this is a guy that's been in the league since God's a Cowboy, but he's just been he's such a cerebral player that when he goes to the front of the net, his back is to that whole side of the ice, and he feels that there's a player that's coming with him, and he knows that everybody's open on the backside. He's just got to get into a general area. So, and again, the Essa cheats, Perry gets it, understands where Byfield is, and it was a great play on Corey Perry's part.
I love the composure in that moment. Look, we all know how good Corey Perry is around the net, right? That's his office. That's where he makes his living, especially at this age. But the composure at not to think, because so many players would get that. They're at the crease. I'm going to try to jam it in, find a way to score. I love the presence of mind to know where everybody's thinking and know that if he can just get it back across the grain like that. Byfield had a slam dunk. That's an easy goal for him, and nothing Jake Ottinger could do on that one.
Got great vision around the net, too. He's a great finisher, but he's always got that extra little vision to either move it to a different side. I always think of the goal he scored to keep the series alive in 2020 against Tampa, to be able to have the patience to move it around goalies. He's just able to do that extra step to be able to score. And so it makes him so good. And
he's smart enough to, when he throws that puck behind him, he doesn't put a lot of heat on it. He throws it into an area knowing I know Byfield, I know my teammate's somewhere in there, and I'm not, if I fire it hard, it may be on his backhand, he doesn't get it, but he ultimately puts it in the right spot. But at least that way Byfield will be able to adjust to it the way he puts it back there.
Stars almost retook the lead on a great little effort by Radek Faksa and Oscar Beck. First, Faksa found Beck in the low slot. Great save by Kuemper. Faksa gets the wraparound rebound, and he had the Corey Perry issue of trying to put it between the goalie and the goal line, and it went right across the crease. Great look, but then Mikko Rantanen scores a one-timer, and I don't know about you guys, but I questioned that entry right as soon as it happened and went, ooh, that didn't look great. And then you know, that happens 2 or 3 times a game. You'll see one and go, oh, that was close. And usually it gets cleared and it becomes nothing. As soon as Rantanen scored, a nice bomb pounding one in from the high slot, I had a feeling this one wasn't going to count.
Well, Sam Steel is carrying the puck through the neutral zone, and Wyatt was the guy, I believe it was, offside. And I think Wyatt had it timed right, but it kind of blows up on Steel off his stick, and it ends up going to his right. And that's when Wyatt, he was already timing it that Steel was going to cross the offensive blue line at the right time. And once it blows up off of his stick, Wyatt can't adjust enough, and Steele's got to track it down. And by then he's a skate blade over.
I just hate plays. That's all. That's all I have. I hate the plays that have nothing to do with the goal, but I understand the rule. It's just annoying when the play goes on for 30 seconds in the zone and you score, and it's like, oh, but remember way back then when you entered and dumped it in, that was offside. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, but where's the line?
Yeah, you have to do it. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to do the replay, you have to have the right call.
Right. I mean, to me, is that people would say that don't like it, Sam, would say, okay, well, I only want the obvious ones. Okay, so where is the line between the blatantly obvious and the more marginal ones, right? So I'm with you in agreement of if you're having replay, you're going to have that. I don't like that it goes on that long sometimes, but I would rather get those calls right, even if it means pulling a goal back, which it does happen from time to time, rather than some blatant misses that are clearly and obviously wrong, going uncalled, especially in today's, you've got everything on TV. You can see the slow-mos, what's right and wrong. So I like it. But the problem is that you have to live with some of those because it's either that or you go to no replay at all, and we're not doing that again.
It ain't going to change.
Nope. So
just more and more.
Then they get the complete opposite. The slowest goal you might see this year from pretty far distance away, but they don't ask you how, do they, Luds? Just how many for Jason Robertson?
They didn't ask me that either. You know what this is I think it started with Hintz. Well, it's both Hintz and Bork. When Hintz does a good job staying on side, drags that line, he knows that Robo doesn't have the same amount of speed that he does. So he drags his foot nice. But then what Hintz does, he starts driving to the net. And then Bork comes to the middle of the ice. So between Bork and Hintz, they actually draw both defensemen, the pair of defensemen that are out there together, right into the middle of the ice. And I believe that's why Kuemper can't see what's going on here. And Robo, you know what? It's a Hail Mary. But it's what Robo does, right? He gets pucks to the net, but you can see right here, see all four of those players. That's why you go to the front of the net. Both Bork and Hintz go there. A pair of defensemen, they pick up their guys. And I believe that I just think that Kuemper, obviously, he's going to stop a backhand shot from 45, 50 feet. But he right there's the shot. That's the one where I don't think he picks it up.
Yeah, look at his head.
And obviously, when he does, it's a little too late.
He looks like he's looking to the right. He's just got traffic. But the one thing that I'll say, lads, is we talked about it over and over. The reason we talk about shots and the reason I make, kind of jokes about 9 shots on goal through 40 minutes is because this is what happens when you put the puck on net.
Yep.
You can create chaos, you can create deflections, you can create rebounds, you can draw penalties, but it can also find its way in. It can hit a body, it can hit a skate, this is only because Robertson does not wait to create a better chance. The amount of times tonight the Stars had a shot from the top of the circle and just held onto it, and it turned into nothing. That's what drives me crazy because it's such a simple game and you don't have to overcomplicate things. Put it to that area and go to that area, and they won the game because of it.
Yeah, hey Ryan, can you go back to that aerial shot view where everybody's right in front of him? Right here, Sam, when you say that he's looking the other way, he knows Robo's coming in on his backhand side, right? And how many times have you seen Robo come in, start to go to the middle, then he pulls up back and he takes that wrist shot to the net? I would think that's probably what he's waiting for. He's probably thinking, well, Jesus, how many times is a 40 goal scorer going to come and throw a backhand from just below the blue line? And I think Robo just caught him off guard and just threw the puck there. But I believe when you say that, and you're right, I think that he's probably, once his vision is taken away and he knows that he's off to the right-hand side there, and that's where when he pulls it back to his forehand, it's going to be coming in from that angle, not the other one. So that may have been what Kuemper was looking at. I
really liked that play by Robertson. I think he's thinking not let's get this on net. I think he recognizes, as Lud's talked about, that both Hintz and Bork get into the lower slot there. I think he's looking for a tip the whole way. I think he's floating that, and yeah, you got to get a little lucky every now and then. But it's because of he's trying to set up something else and get a redirection there. Then you have the lead, and I know all of us are celebrating a chance that if they hang on to this one, we're not going to overtime, which Razor kept saying it on the broadcast. Hey, this one feels like overtime written all over it. You're like, hey, could you cool it? I don't believe in the announcer's jinx at all, but I'm also not trying to test the hockey gods either. They get the extra attacker on, and Sam, I'll let you take Sam away.
Oh, man. So 2 things happen here. Mikko got the puck at center ice, and he tried to pass it to Sam Steel, which he does not do very much anymore for good reason, right? He tries to pass it to Sam Steel, and it doesn't get there. I don't remember if it got deflected or it hit off Steel's stick. It just didn't make it there. And then Rantanen tries to make a play from his knees, ends up turning it over. Then it comes back up the other way, and Sam Steel gets it. I feel for the guy, right? He's got so much speed. He's got hands. He can do all these things. But for whatever reason, when it comes to putting the puck in the net, he has so many issues doing it. And it can be a golden chance from in front off a great pass from Rantanen, a backdoor play that gets some windmill goalie save, or it can be from the blue line. I mean, if you hand the puck to an NHL player and they shot from there, they'd probably score 10 out of 10 times, as they should. And he drills it. He's got no pressure on him. He's kind of moves to his right a tiny bit, but it's a very standard shot, and he just drills the right post. And as soon as it happened, not only did I think, no way did that happen, but I thought they're going to score. They're going to come back and they're going to score. This is what our whole damn post-game show is going to be about. So I'm happy that didn't happen.
I'm just going to let that one sit right there.
See, I had the opposite reaction. I didn't have the no way that happened. I was like, of course that happened, right? I guess that's fair. I guess I've watched and great players and guys I've really enjoyed, whether watching or talking, but Matthias Janmark and Michael Raffel, and you can the list goes on and on of really smart, great, almost complete hockey players. And there's a lot of them out there that are really, really good players, just don't have that Jason Robertson knack for putting the puck in the net. And that's what makes Robo a $12 to $13 million a year scorer, because he can do what very few can do.
Hey, they're not putting him out there with players with whether it's Robo and Ranton and stuff, because he can feed into the points and the passes and the finishing.
Exactly.
He's out there for another reason. He's out there to do the work so those guys don't have to. And he's out there to, like I said, hunt pucks down and, back check the other way and use his speed and get to the front of the net, be the first guy in the corners if he has to, and all that grunt work.
So Duchene ends up getting a goal, and frankly, that's kind of a good thing, right? Because I think even an empty net goal from center ice for Matt Duchene does a lot more than Sam Steel scoring from the blue line. Now, again, other than us going, hey, look, Sam Steel scored, this team needs Matt Duchene to get the best version of himself. He's not there yet, is he?
No, you can see he's frustrated with himself sometimes. There was a couple times, some little plays on the wall where he likes in tight little. I think he's got to catch up on his speed too. His quickness doesn't seem quite there when he does the tight little turns that he's so good at. There's times when he gets caught on that. Now, normally then he'll tight turn in the first two strides. He can create a little bit of separation. And I think he gets kind of flustered with himself, and then he shoots off the bench. You know, I mean, he shoots to the bench right away. So, but again, he was out for a long time, and whether it's the conditioning and everything around it, all we're really hoping for, in my opinion, is with 5, 6, 7 games to go before the playoffs start, he's back to feeling the way he wants to feel. More importantly,
and I'll tell you, I love that Rantanen got the assist because of not getting one on trying to set up Steel and all that just before that. You're feeling like you could see that point disappearing from the Moose. He had the goal disallowed. Then he tries to set up Steel, empty net. It doesn't work. So the fact that he got one on the Duchene one felt like it was justice on that regard. All right, we have to pause because we have live reads from these two. And then, I see your super chats. Guys, they're getting longer and longer. They want to keep Sam up past his bedtime here on the DLS Stars postgame show. Oh, look at that hat.
There you go, Sam.
Nice.
Oh, let's pull them up. Let's pull up the hats, Ryan. Let's start there. Yeah, here they are. So I still got the black one. I could have put that one on, but I put my train goes away. But there they are. Sam's got the Chevy one or the Dodge one on the other side. Pretty cool hats. The white ones are awesome.
Cadillac.
Yeah, Cadillac. There you go, Caddy. The old Caddy. And we got to get our new T-shirt up there, or sweatshirt, whatever the hell we call it. The hoodie. Get the hoodie up there. There's the Finnish Mafia. Are they ready to order right now, guys?
No, they're ready.
Yes. Yep.
They're in production. They're done. Okay. Well, I apparently was the only one to get one. So yeah, right. Well, there it is. It feels nice. I'm just telling you, it's soft and fuzzy and warm. I'll be wearing that up north during the All-Star break, what's it called? The Olympic break underneath my
Sammy's leaving us.
Yeah. It'll be up tomorrow. So and can we pull up Jamie Benn shirt? Can we pull up the Jamie Benn shirt? I mean, since he had to come out there you go. There was a big night for Jamie to ultimately get back and get that helmet on. So all up to you now, Sam.
And just no, not again,
man. He's like Diana Ross with the outfit changes.
Him and Ryan are on the same page with the switches. Thanks, Luds. If you become a diehard, you can get 20% off all that stuff that Luds was just talking about, including the hat. You can't get the Captain Visor. That is one of one, unless Luds wants to sell it on our website.
He probably would.
alldls.com/diehard. You get 20% off merch, 20% off events. We have maybe one coming soon, so stay tuned for that. You also get the first access to everything, because a lot of stuff is released in our diehard Discord, which is where a lot of ridiculous conversations go on. We share articles, we share notes, we answer questions. A lot of fun stuff in there. You get to read all the articles from all of our different writers, and you get it for no ads. So it's a perfectly seamless reading experience. All kinds of cool stuff when you become a diehard. So just go do it. alldls.com/diehard. And final note, Jamie Benn says this will probably be it.
No. Wait. We have an element for this, Sam. I appreciate this.
I'm ready.
Hold on. According to Robert Tiffin, our friend, now, Sam, you may go.
Okay. Jamie Benn said, he said that it felt strange wearing it, and it's probably going to be it for him. He says back to normal tomorrow. And then he went on to say that, he hasn't talked to his mom yet, but he's sure that she likes the fact that he was wearing one, and he knows his wife liked the fact that he had one on. So there were some supporters there to answer our question from earlier. I'm not sure if they were the one who told him to wear it, but they certainly didn't hate it.
There's the visor.
There's the new Jamie Benn.
Luds is already ready for Anaheim tomorrow night. Luds, I have to say, I knew it wasn't going to last long, right? There's no way that Jamie Benn was going to wear that thing for the rest of the year, let alone the rest of the month. But I thought he might have to wear it more than just tonight.
Well, you would kind of think so. If you have to wear it tonight, 24 hours from now, you should probably.
I don't think it's that much better, is it?
No.
But he didn't score a hat trick with it.
I'll be honest with you. I told you guys this the other day. He wore one more game than I thought he would.
He probably did it to appease the doctors, and maybe his mom and his wife, who both, he said they probably like that. You knew it. How about this, Sam? We saw, I think it was BR Sports, Bleacher Report, tweeting out, "Hey, Jamie's got a visor now. There's only 3 left." And you're like, "Listen here, donkeys. It's 4. Settle down. Don't overreact. You know he's not going to wear that in perpetuity." So, yeah.
There are still 4 players remaining.
Still 4. All right.
It should be the last one.
Luds, at least the DLLS captain t-shirt was now within the lifespan of DLLS accurate.
Yes.
And I know that pleases you.
Of it. I'm still a little hung up on that, but
you got to get over that.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the super chats, and there are quite a few. So let's start with Stars at Night 99 with a Hatcher and 99 Cup year. Fans complain, but tonight felt like a solid win. I completely agree.
Agreed.
Yep. Road win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you've won one of the previous 8, you don't care if it looks pretty or not. All right, next one. And this is the one I was referencing earlier. I Love Missy 1985 with a Robertson and an Ottinger. It's DLLS After Dark. Let's keep the super chats coming, and keep Luds up much later than his bedtime to celebrate such an inspirational victory by the Stars. And let's do it again with another win tomorrow, please.
I got a question. I Love Misty. I believe I saw earlier in the chat, I think it was you, said you're a doctor. Doesn't that mean you have to wake up early? So why do you want to stay up late? That's my question.
That's assuming that you have the early shift.
And by the way,
doctors have to work 24 hours, Sam. There's overnight shifts. There's the second shift. Luds, we got to teach Sam what working stiffs have to do here.
Yeah, well, let's just get back to the bedtime thing. I don't have a bedtime.
Yeah, I was going to say, when do you sleep?
No.
See, what people don't know about Luds is it's like the movie Wayne's World 2, the guy that was sort of the Ozzy Osbourne character, Del Preston. Luds is the one that would hang upside down by his feet for about 2 hours and not be able to be killed by conventional weaponry.
Usually when we leave the studio, like when we work the freaking draft, aka the worst night ever, when we worked the draft and we were like, oh man, that was so long. Let's get home. Got to get to bed. Luds is like, ooh, only 12:30. Think I can hit that bar on the way home before I get what is wrong with you?
He knows how much time is left. All right, let's go to the next one, which we have a Oh, look at that one. That's a Lucifer if I've ever seen one. That's a Bischel and a Yager, or excuse me, a Bischel and a Lemieux from Finger Blaster 911, also known as a 666. I'm afraid Miro is going to the Olympics with a set of bald tires. So much mileage, too much hockey. Any concerns about that, guys?
I don't because of his gift for skating. I just think it just seems like it's effortless for him, you know. And it's not from being tired. I just hope that, you know, if the rink is smaller and, you know, more physical game going on, that kind of stuff. But from the standpoint of the skating thing for him, I don't think he's getting tired.
Honestly, I think it'll refresh him, Sam, because he missed the Four Nations, and this is the chance of a lifetime to play in Europe in the Olympics for Finland.
Yeah, it'll be cool. And the thing with Miro, as Lud said, he doesn't get tired like normal players because he just floats around out there. He doesn't have to exert a lot of energy. The only thing I'm worried about is he's going to play. Him and Esa Lindell are going to play 35 minutes a night for that team in all situations. So if they go, you know, if they play, what do they play? Three games before the medal rounds. If they play 4 or 5 games somehow, it's a lot of hockey. And then he's going to come down the stretch and carry the load. I just hope there's no sort of fatigue that we saw from Harley and other guys in certain playoff runs. That's all.
Let's go to the next one. Meaty Hammer with a great avatar. Look at that picture.
Wow.
With a nice DeSmith and a 99 cup year. Steel. If only he could finish goals. I love him.
I mean, he hit the post. He won the car.
I mean, you need utility guys, right? It's rare that your utility guy is a guy like Evgeny Dodonov who can score 20 goals and plug and play up and down in the lineup. Steel does a lot of good things. Finishing is not his forte.
It's just because he's on that.
Oh, he's Canadian.
Yeah, it's just because if he's not on that top line, people aren't as obsessed with it, including me. It's the fact that he's on that line with so much skill. I think that's the big issue.
Yeah, but, you know, like when I mentioned Raffle or, you know, Travis Moen, or although he was a bit of a tougher character, or a guy like Janmark.
No Visor, I believe, for Moen.
They weren't playing top line minutes all the time or top line, you know, roles, but they were still being noticed for getting breakaways and not scoring them. So, all right, let's go to the next one. Anthony P. 9998 or 9998. Should we be concerned with Ottinger's night and day play?
You know what? Yes and no. I'm going to say yes because they can't have him have a series off, right? Like, I'm not worried about Jake having one bad night in a random game or having two bad ones and needs a setback. He plays a lot of hockey, and it's almost good that he's having to set back now because DeSmith's playing more and more games and it's evening things out. But the worry I have is with Jake, how he's gone into that Edmonton shell. He looks lights out against Winnipeg. I don't know whether it's fatigue. He said he was healthy, but then he just looks like a completely different goalie in a series. So I say yes, if he turns that into 3, 4, 5 games in a playoffs when it matters, but no, if it's just a regular season. Everyone has ups and downs, including the best goalies in the world.
Did you guys hear something that Gully may have said about Jake getting a couple extra maintenance days to kind of? I just wonder if they look at a performance like this, you know, today, which was a good game for him, or tonight, I should say, and say, you know what, let's see what he does in the next game that he plays, which is probably going to be not next game, but and he has that same kind of outing. They'll say, you know what, let's rewrite something here. Maybe we got to give him, you know, when you get in under 20 games or whatever it is, let's make sure he's getting whatever they did last time, a couple extra days, if that's what it may be.
I think we're going to see Ottinger on Thursday night in Salt Lake City, and then again Sunday afternoon against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think we'll see Casey tomorrow and probably Tuesday against Boston. Yeah. That's my guess. And then split the back-to-back because they have to go at Columbus. Rick Bowness, by the way, in 10 days, and then at home against St. Louis, which should be an interesting one because they play the Blues twice. Actually, excuse me, 3 times in a 2-week span before the Olympic break. Might be a good time to play the Blues. They have been playing bad hockey. All right, let's go to the next one. This one is Stars 26 Cup year with a Heiskanen and a 99 Cup year. Harles looked better. Mikko tried to reward Steel and he flubbed it. Robertson looked gassed. Otter looks solid. Cappy might be the glue on the back end. I don't think Robertson looked gassed, but I like Capobianco. I don't know if he's the glue on the back end, but they got the win, right?
Yes, and I will take him over other options right now, including 46 and 5.
Man, you are down on Lyubushkin.
I said 5 too. I love Nils.
I know, but
they're not playing the game at a high enough level right now. And I think that Capo is playing better than both of them, and Petro.
Luds?
I need to see Coco play in some heavier games in his own zone.
Yeah.
I want to see, because there are things where, because his brain is to jump, you know what I mean? And there's times that I see him in front of his own net where you could probably try to seal a guy out and he's just a little bit loose. But again, that's just me being nitpicky, because I think about playoffs and things are going to get heavy, and can you play in that environment?
All right, let's go to the next one. We've got Ardell with a Sador and a Robertson specified, because otherwise I would have said Lundqvist. LA fans are the most fickle and fake in sports. That barn was empty, if not for the green. More statues than Kings fans at Crypto Arena.
It is a Monday night, but I could only see the same section that they kept going by on the camera side by the penalty box, and it was so weird to see almost a full front section empty. But then someone sent me a picture from the arena, and basically the top of the lower bowl was empty. So that's a weird one for LA, who usually I thought had a pretty good, at least when I was living there, had a pretty good environment. I know they were a lot better winning cups, but
Golden Globes hangover.
Yeah, if you're feeling that, I'll tell you right now, go to the game tomorrow. You'll see a lot of empty seats there to do as well.
Luds, when you played in LA or in Anaheim, did you have issues and notice anything about attendance back then?
Had a hard time finding my room.
That's the Luds we expect. All right, we got one more here. This one's a Luds question. Grundle Gobbler with a Lundqvist and year after the cup. Luds, do you think the guys will give Sam Steel some S for that later in the locker room, or does everyone just pretend it doesn't happen?
Oh no, he'll have to take a little bit for sure.
All right,
he's probably the first one to say something about it, to be honest with you. So
I have one more thing to bring up, unless you guys want to bring anything else up. From Glenn Gullitson's post game, Michael Dixon tweeted this out about a half hour ago, because we haven't had a chance to listen to Gully yet, but he said, quote, this is Gullitson, "We didn't get any calls tonight. I think we've got one of the quietest coaching staffs in the league, so I'm starting to question maybe I need to yell a little more, because every night it seems a little lopsided." That is pretty notable from Glenn Gullitson, who has barely said a peep about the officiating all season long.
Well, that wasn't it last game. He was losing his marbles, and I could see the F words coming across the screen.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I hate officials. I hate referees. I just had to make sure everyone knows that.
I don't know if anybody bought that one, Sam, but keep trying. It's good, right? All right. I asked you this at the beginning or at the end of the first segment, but I'll just circle back before we sign off this one, because Luds is just getting started tonight. You can tell he's wound up. LA is done. Now the Stars play the Anaheim Ducks. Tomorrow night, maybe they do some lineup rotation because they have a couple of healthy bodies. They've got, obviously, you're going to see Casey DeSmith, I would guess, playing in goal tomorrow night. What do you guys' first thoughts on Anaheim, Dallas tomorrow at Honda Center? Oh, Sam left. Luds left. All right. Well, sorry, guys. They bailed on me. They let down the broadcast. They think they're funny. Looks like Yoshi is over there playing with the NFL football that Sam stole from the office. So, time to wrap up. All right. Big thank you to everybody for joining us here for Stars After Dark. I agree. I love Misty. Very, very sad. That's good. And Figure Blaster said that Sam has a Wes McCauley centerfold hanging on his wall. I love that. So, bedtime for the boys. We are back tomorrow, 8:30 pregame show. Sean will be on tomorrow's show along with Wednesday's day show. So we will see Shapiro tomorrow night along with Craig Ludwig, Sam Nessler, myself. I'm Owen, and that's right, we don't turn our back on the fans, do we, Ardell? Our producer, Ryan Vaughters, who's still here, I hope, because he's got to end the show. Thanks for everybody for joining tonight. Stars win. beating the Kings 3-1. They win the season series by a 2-0-1. How about that? 5 out of 6 points against the Kings right here on DLLS. Hope you had fun with Stars After Dark.